So it is often said that values are like integrity. Integrity is something that one does when no one's watching, and it's extremely important to understand the subtlety of the meaning of integrity. It's not something that you show off to someone. It's not something that you do in order to get noticed and appreciated and recognized for integrity. There are no integrity awards, in the world. So it's something that you do because you strongly believe in that. And it's something that you do even when no one's watching. So value systems and culture are something like that. They are very subtle. They are underlying in the sort of very fabric and the DNA of any organization, and they are things that we live every day, even when no one's asking us to do something. It's just natural. It's like breathing. It's like how we it's who we are, and that really defines the value systems and culture of an organization. So it's extremely important to capture the values, to define the values, and to articulate the values so that we can all relate to them. It's important because in my view it's the software that runs through the organization. The hardware is things like organization structure, mission, the processes that we have in the organization, the job descriptions and the tasks that we do and the projects that we run and the results we achieve are all part of the hardware. But what is underlying that is the software, which is, as I said, DNA, the fabric of the organization, and runs very subtly through the organization, and that's what binds the organization together. So it's extremely important because in my view that undercurrent that goes through the organization creates a unchallenged competitive advantage for any organization. Each one of us puts a little bit of something of us into the organization, like a melting pot of values. So each one of our individual values are thrown into a melting pot of what then emerges to be a melting pot of an organization-wide set of values and culture. Through all the work that has been done in the last few months and few weeks, we have put together the value systems into a very nice acronym, and that acronym we've all been very familiar with through the brochures and through the materials and the presentations that we've been using, which is Pragati Ka Solid Exchange. So that's what NCDEX is all about, and our definition of values and the acronym that captures our value systems and our culture is really Pragati. So Pragati is who we are, Pragati is what we stand for, Pragati is what our value systems are all about. P for Pragati stands for people. We are a knowledge management business. We are an business of intellect, and any business of intellect which has intellectual capacity and capability boils down to people, and hence we are at the end of the day about people. It's an extremely important and probably the most important foundation block for the organization. The R stands for results. We've got to be result oriented, we've got to produce, we've got to say what we will deliver, and then we've got to deliver what we have said in a timely manner and in a high quality manner. A stands for achieve together, and it's sort of very aligned and complementary to the people aspect, that we won't do anything and we can't do anything until we work together and until we achieve things together. G stands for having a growth mindset, and one may ask what's the difference between being result oriented and having a growth mindset, and I think they are two different things, though similar, but they are quite different. Growth is a more expansive term. Growth is about the impact we have on society. Growth is how we let the society grow with us and how we take everyone along in our growth, and that's something that's been very special about NCDEX. Not only are we a commercial organization, but we are a commercial organization with a very strong social purpose. The second A stands for agile, and agile is a term which is again is a term that captures a lot of attributes. It's about working fast, it's about being efficient, it's about getting things done right the first time, it's about moving quickly. The next alphabet really is about trust, and trust is again just like the growth mindset and having the social purpose behind NCDEX and behind everything we do is fundamental to NCDEX. We are all about trust. Moving on to the last aspect of Pragati, which is I, stands for innovation. And that's again, going back to sort of December 2003 when NCDEX was first formed. We were an innovative offering in the marketplace. What we did right from day one, the warehouse, setting up the warehousing ecosystem, setting up contract specifications for agricultural futures that no one had ever done anything before about, and creating the whole ecosystem of warehousing. Comtrack is an excellent piece of innovation. What NEML has done, the birth of NEML, and what NEML does in terms of organizing the physical spot markets is completely about innovation. The Book My Warehouse apps is about innovation. Our next gen trading system and surveillance system that we have done is about innovation. So really innovation for me is not something that we need to think about when we take on something. It's not something that we need to be explicit about. It's who we are, it's what we do, and which is why it should come very easy to us, almost like second nature. And the reason why I'm just articulating I for innovation is just as a reminder to who we are, because in our day-to-day sort of rigmarole, it's easy to forget some of these basic things that make us who we are. So that wraps up the whole of Pragati and the articulation of what Pragati means to me, and what I thought I'd share with all of you. Pragati is a way of life at the exchange. It's a way of life at NCDEX.
NCDEX has grown all these years with the support of all stakeholders. The P of Pragati stands for people, that is one set of stakeholders who are our employees. NCDEX provides an environment of work-life balance, open culture, and approachability to senior management. NCDEX provides exposure to different verticals and helps employees become subject matter experts. NCDEX encourages its employees to acquire additional qualifications and focuses on training and development. Various employee engagement programs at NCDEX provides an opportunity for employees to showcase their talent. Last but not the least, the brand Sampark is used as the medium of communication among all employees.
At NCDEX, we respect every individual for what they are, be it their age, be it their experience, and be it their opinion. Every individual is respected for what they bring on the table. For example, when you are looking at a young person who has joined our organization, the unbridled youth and the effervescence that he or she brings to the organization is something that is infectious. We make sure that that effervescence is not really stopped in any way. So if there is an experienced person who has joined our organization, the insights that they bring on the table is equally respected for. The gender element that comes along with a different gender joining the organization is equally respected. The opinion of each and every individual is one of the hallmarks on which organizations like ours have grown. So some of the major initiatives that we have taken has come from the ideas that has come right from the bottom of the pyramid, so to say. So that's what as NCDEX we value.
For NCDEX, result focus is of prime importance. As you know, Pragati is our set of values, and Pragati means constant growth. And we believe in a strong set of values. The R of Pragati is results focus. By results focus, we mean that it is important for us to have a goal and strive towards it. We demonstrate ownership and accountability by doing so. We take initiative and are outcome focused, believe in going the extra mile and being proactive. We set stretch targets to strive to achieve them. We provide best solutions to stakeholders based on our expertise. We are passionate about what we do. We plan for the future of our business in a strategic, analytical manner, using strategic tools and processes, and use our insights and expertise to do so. We have to understand that NCDEX is a thought leader in the agri-exchange space, and we do a lot in terms of price discovery and helping the farmers in this country. In order to achieve this purpose, as well as to reward all our stakeholders, we need to be commercially focused also, and in order to do so we need results both in terms of our social outreach, in terms of what we stand for, and also in terms of delivering a growing bottom line for all our stakeholders, our employees, our shareholders, and delivering value and growing NCDEX as an organization.
We are here today to talk about A from Pragati, which is Achieve Together. And I think there's been no better example that I can think of in terms of achieving together, where both the organizations have a single technology team, understanding each other's mindset, trying to satisfy each other's requirements, and yet coming out with two different outputs for two different organizations. What do you think, Ravi?
Yeah, I think at least we have been working very closely together. Almost every project, I don't remember any project either of NEML or of NCDEX where there's been no participation from each other. So, and there is a lot that we've been doing together for quite some time. I think Comtrack is one good example. Maybe Anand can give you a...
Yeah, I think Comtrack, we started Comtrack way back in 2010-11, and everybody knows Comtrack to be a success story, but few people know that from Comtrack a completely different application called ComLive was also carved out. It required very little efforts, but then it is satisfying a completely different organization, a completely different market with a different business objective.
Yes. And another good example is the Spread Engine project for NCDEX. The initial technology was adapted from the trading engine of NEML.
Yes.
And then when this Spread Engine was developed, some of those enhancement improvements were adapted back into the NEML engines. So that's I think a very good example of working together.
Yeah. And I think one message I'd like to pass on to the entire organization is that when you're trying to achieve together, that can be possible only when you're trying to think together, trying to understand each other's mindset, trying to understand each other's requirement without any inhibitions. And one of the examples I remember of that is when NEML was trying to get its first auctions out, I think for FCI, we rushed a couple of technology people and even some people from CSG to augment the NEML teams overnight. And I think that was a big success. And I think after that, NEML has not looked back.
Yeah, and another good example is, in fact, interestingly, there was a person in the NCDEX infrastructure team who was from Karnataka, who was actually on the ground when we initially rolled out our unified market platform in Karnataka Mandis.
Yes. And another example is also one of our testers who later on joined NEML and now is part of REMS. So I think truly technology transcends all boundaries, and that's where I think both the organizations are joined at the hip as far as technology is concerned, and I'm sure in all other areas we should strive forward to achieve together and have a common objective.
Pragati is an acronym we created to help us easily remember the values we want to live by. The letter G, which is right in the middle of this 7-letter word, stands for the growth mindset. The growth mindset is about creating enabling conditions for the company to grow fast and grow profitably. And what this means is that what we do as employees has to be done extremely efficiently, keeping the customer at the center of whatever we do. Be it designing contracts that appeal to our customers, providing them the right information on our website, ensuring a smooth experience when they deposit or withdraw goods from our warehouses, while mitigating risk, ensuring that the margins are right to encourage trading, promptly redressing complaints, grooming our employees so that they can talk effectively to our customers, influence policymakers and opinion makers. Each of these activities, when done efficiently, improves the company's growth prospects and in turn makes us more confident, assertive and aggressive in the marketplace. This in turn brings more people and, more importantly, liquidity to our contracts, which in turn impacts the society at large by ensuring that our farmers take price cues from the exchange traded prices, and make the various platforms that the NCDEX group has to offer as their first choice marketplace to bring their produce to, making it really a Pragati ka solid exchange.
So the value that I am representing today in the Pragati values is A, which stands for agility. All of us know what a year it's been. We've had so many regulatory changes, policy changes. There has been Brexit, there has been Donald Trump, and now there has been demonetization. All of these things were completely unforeseen. They have forced us to move in a swift and agile way to respond quickly to to a changing world, both in our own ecosystem, in the country, and overseas. We will need to do two things in a more efficient way. One is that we need to get things done more quickly and get them right first time. Sometimes that means not just writing an email, but picking up the phone and talking to your colleague, walking up to people across the office and getting things done, pulling people in quickly for a huddle, and then figuring out what to do, and then going out and doing it. So agility, to sum up, means the ability to do things right the first time, to be able to plan. 3, it means the ability to create teams which are which come together for a certain purpose and then go their own way. And 4th, it means to have the right and the most accurate communication immediately and promptly.
When we say Pragati, the T stands for trust. What is trust? Trust is essentially one's confidence in the reliability, the truth, and the integrity of that person. Trust for a company or organization like ours, the stakeholders and the employees included have to believe, have to trust in the organization. This trust means that the organization or the company will do no wrong. It will stand for the right thing. I believe trust is standing up for one's values. Now, when we say trust, I mean I'll choose the right thing. I'll do the right thing. I'll not do something which I don't think is right. So, when for a company like ours or exchange like ours, when we are building trust, it is essentially to give confidence to all the stakeholders, the regulator included, that we will not do anything wrong. We will not compromise on our values, on our integrity and our reliability. Just to cite our journey in this space is with the regulator. We have built the credibility of being the exchange which will do no wrong. Yes, this helps essentially because it reinforces our own belief in what we do. Trust is you begin with yourself. I would like to refer to the song of Michael Jackson, The Man in the Mirror. So when you look in the mirror, that is the person you cannot deceive or you cannot lie to. So if you are honest with yourself, that is where you start building trust. The same with the organization, with our colleagues, with our superiors, with our subordinates, with our peers. Everyone should believe, everybody should trust our colleagues, and everyone who looks at us should believe in us being the organization which is true in what it says and conveys reliability, and that is important.
innovation, what does innovation actually mean? While innovation is an extremely sophisticated word, but how do we implement innovation on a day-to-day basis? The first thing is we have to bring about a change in the mindset in the way we approach issues, problems that are plaguing this industry of commodities. How do we do that? By essentially being customer centric, by resolving problems of the existing customers, by looking at the whole architecture of how we deal with issues. So for example, the kind of innovation that we have done in the commodities ecosystem, let's take Comtrack. The way earlier Comtrack used to be accounting software, now it's a revenue model, and we are trying to transform the warehousing industry by creating a registry. Same thing could be applied to the electronic new trading system that we are implementing of MIT, that can transform the way the business that we are conducting, be it spreads, the new product architecture, the new products that we can launch, for example, options, indices, weather contracts, freight contracts, and all of those services that we want to bring and add value to the customer. So this is extremely important for us to embrace innovation, and innovation can be brought in even in smaller packets, effectively, be it in our products or processes. But if this is going to be helpful to the customers, then it is definitely valuable, and we bring in the economic value proposition. Is it easy? No. Is it possible? Definitely yes. So we have to be in the center of the ecosystem for our essentially the stakeholders, be it farmers, producers, corporates, think tanks, government, regulators, investors. So in the ecosystem, if there is a slogan, then it is think innovation commodities, then it's think NCDEX.